All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our Major League Baseball video here today for Wednesday, April 7th. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. Now guys, I tell you what, I'm feeling great today because we are coming fresh off a perfect 5-0 day in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. Got a little bit of that tax money back. Man, I paid the tax to Mr. Taxman yesterday, and that did not feel good. So we did get a little bit of that tax cash back. Great day yesterday. That's going to put us at 8-3 in our last 11 $1.99 daily best plays on my Patreon website. It's also going to put us at 74% in our last 31 extra daily picks on that Patreon page as well. We currently have over 1,200 members who are currently signed up and active on that site. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, link for that Patreon page is in the description section below. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. The Dodgers take on the A's, 3:37 Eastern first pitch in Oakland. The LA Dodgers are the $1.80 favorite on the road. Total's 8, juice to the over. And if you like the Athletics in an upset on their home field, they're plus $1.55 on the money line. Jesus Luzardo is the expected starter on the mound for Oakland. Trevor Bauer for the Dodgers. Now, Bauer's coming off a 10-strikeout performance in a season opener. Now, Bauer got the W in that ball game despite kind of a rocky finish to the day. Still got the W, a lot of strikeouts. That's kind of what he brings to the table. Now, the Dodgers are on a 5-game winning streak, and they're leading the majors in hits. Max Muncy is 9 for 23 on the season. 3 extra base hits and 5 ribbies for the first baseman. Corey Seager's also gone 9 for 22 himself with 3 doubles and 7 RBI as well. LA's averaging nearly 7 runs a game. They're taking on a winless Oakland squad who lost their first 6 straight of the 2021 campaign. They're 0-6. Still waiting to get that first win. Oakland simply, they can't hit the baseball right now. They're in the bottom 3 in scoring, and they average just 2.1 runs per contest. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, Oakland's 5-1 to the over through 6 ball games. LA saw 4 out of their last 6 get over the total of 8 themselves. Give me the LA Dodgers minus 1.5 and the over 8 runs. Next ball game, Mets, Phillies, 4:05 Eastern start time. The Philadelphia Phillies are minus $1.45, numbers 8. Aaron Nola for the Titans, David Peterson for the Mets. Now, Peterson had a solid first season last year, but he really lacks a ton of experience. And I don't know, it really doesn't matter how good you've looked. To have to go head-to-head with the likes of Aaron Nola, that is certainly a difficult task. And despite decent offensive output in their opening 2 games, the Mets have given up 9 total runs in those 2 contests to a Phillies team who really hasn't been lighting up the scoreboard. And speaking of the Phils, like I said, they've got Aaron Nola on the bump here today. 6 strikeouts, 2.70 ERA after 1 start this year. And although the Phillies offense isn't much to write home about, the Titans pitching staff leads the majors in hits allowed. They're giving up less than 5.5 hits per contest, and they're also striking out nearly 11 batters a game as well. Now, total-wise, Phillies 3-2 to the under thus far in this season. Nola saw his last 3 starts dating back to last season stay under the line as well. I'm going to lean toward the Philadelphia Phillies minus $1.45 and the under 8 runs. Next contest, it is going to be Cards, Fish, 4:10 Eastern first pitch. The St. Louis Cardinals are minus $1.15, total 7. Jack Flaherty for the Cardinals, Pablo Lopez for the Miami Marlins. And despite a real solid opening day for Lopez, the Marlins have lost 4 of 5 to start the season, and they're scoring less than 3.9 runs per contest. Now, they're taking on a St. Louis team who won their last 2 straight ball games, both against Miami. Nolan Arenado is 8 for 20 at the plate with a homer and 3 ribbies. Meanwhile, Paul Goldschmidt is batting .333 himself, along with a pair of doubles. Total-wise, 3 out of St. Louis's last 5 ball games did get over the number. Miami saw 2 out of their last 4 get over the total of 7 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the St. Louis Cardinals minus $1.15 in the over 7. Next contest, still in that 4 o'clock slate here. I'm talking about the Giants versus the Padres, 4:10 p.m. East. The San Diego Padres are minus $1.50, total 7.5. Blake Snell for the Pods, Kevin Gausman for the Giants. And despite an impressive opening day start, Gausman had a 5.06 ERA against the Padres last season. And he's also had a season ERA of 4.03 or higher in 3 out of his last 4 seasons. Now, the Giants have lost 2 out of their last 3 ball games. Just 4 total runs they scored during that span. The Giants are also in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 5 in offensive walks. Now, they're taking on a Padres team who's 4-2 thus far in the season, and they allowed just 2.6 runs per contest. Blake Snell gave up no runs in his season opener, 8 strikeouts and nearly 5 innings of work. No real surprise there. That's why they got the guy. Now, total-wise, San Diego's 5-1 to the under this season. San Francisco's 3-2 to the under themselves. I'm going to lean toward the San Diego Padres minus 1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. Very tight window there. Next matchup, White Sox versus the Mariners, 4:10 p.m. Eastern start time. The Chicago White Sox are minus $1.60, numbers 8.5. Dallas Keuchel for the Sox, Justin Dunn for the Mariners. Now, Justin Dunn hit 96 on the radar gun in the offseason this year. The Mariner franchise really looking forward to this young pitcher who actually went 4-1 last season in 10 starts. And despite struggling a little bit in their first 5 games, I'll tell you what, the Mariners do a good job being patient at the plate. They're currently in the top 10 in offensive walks. Now, Jake Fraley, he's leading the club in on-base percentage despite just 1 hit on the season. Fraley currently has an on-base percentage of .526. Meanwhile, third baseman Ty France is hitting .333 with a homer and 3 ribbies. Now, Seattle's taking on a Chicago club who's given up 5 runs or more in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. Dallas Keuchel had a forgettable opening day. He gave up 6 runs with a pair of walks in just 4+ innings of work. And also keep in mind, Tim Anderson, he's out indefinitely with a hammy. That is a big, portion of this Chicago offense. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Chicago's last 3 got over the total of 8.5 runs. Seattle's 3-2 to the over in their 5 contests themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Seattle Mariners, plus 1.5, and the over 8.5 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Orioles versus the Yankees, 6:35 Eastern first pitch. The New York Yankees are the $2 favorite, totals 9. Jameson Taillon for the Yankees, John Means for the O's. Now, Means had a solid opening day, 7 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts against Boston. The Orioles are in the top 10 in runs allowed, top 10 in hits allowed as well. Pitching staff looking pretty good here. They're taking on a Yankee club who actually scores less than 4.5 runs per contest. Kind of surprising. This is a pretty good lineup here. And of course, Jameson Taillon, he's coming fresh off Tommy John surgery, so there's no telling what he's going to look like here in the regular season, despite a really good spring training. Now, total-wise, Yankees are 4-1 to the under on this season. Baltimore 3-2 to the under themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Baltimore Orioles, plus 1.5, and the under 9. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Dbacks versus the Rockies, 8:40 Eastern start. The Rockies are the $1.15 favorite. Totals 11.5 juice to the under. Antonio Sensatella for Colorado, Madison Bumgarner for the Dbacks. Mad Bum gave up 6 runs and 4 innings of work in his last start. His Arizona pitching staff is in the bottom 10 in runs allowed, and they're also dead last in walks allowed. They're walking nearly 6 batters a game already on average. They're taking on a Colorado team who, despite their struggles, certainly has no problems getting runners on base. The Rockies are in the top 10 in scoring, top 10 in fewest strikeouts at the plate. Ryan McMahon is batting .444 with 4 homers and 7 RBI. Meanwhile, Chris Owings has a .462 on-base percentage, along with 7 total bases. Now, total-wise, not sure either pitching staff is strong enough to, well, they're not strong enough right now to keep this one under, in my opinion. Colorado's also 3-2 to the over thus far in the season. Arizona allows nearly 6 runs a game. I'm going to lean toward the Colorado Rockies minus $1.15 and the over 11.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. Give me the LA Dodgers minus 1.5 over 8. Philadelphia minus $1.45 under 8 runs. St. Louis minus 115 over 7. San Diego minus 1.5 under 7.5. Seattle plus 1.5 over 8.5 runs. Baltimore plus 1.5 under 9. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 8-3 in our last 11 $1.99 daily best plays on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 74% in our last 31 extra daily pick tier package plays on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the Colorado Rockies minus $1.15 and the over 11.5. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of the month following that. But you know, if you sign up for a package here today, you're going to get access through the end of April. So certainly good value here, you know, being at the beginning of the month still. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I don't know what this is. I've never done that, but it felt right. Thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.